Before we start this review today, a rest in peace to a Chelsea Rose who was part of this production and also was a cast member in this movie. My thoughts go to her and the family at this time. Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome back to a brand new video, or if you're brand new to the channel, welcome to the channel. My name is Mike and the channel is Did You See That? Today, I'm actually talking about a movie that is going to be getting a selected theatre run on November 26th, but it also comes out on video on demand on the same day. The movie is called An Intrusion. So, An Intrusion was actually sent to me via an early screener thanks to the awesome guys at Gravitas Ventures. So, a big thank you to those at Gravitas Ventures for giving me an early screener. The poster itself looks really cool, and I love kind of like a home invasion movie where someone's stalking someone or there's a group of people stalking someone, and I'm a sucker for it. I love this kind of movie where it is kind of just set in maybe one or two locations, not many places whatsoever, and they kind of hone in on those set locations to kind of really give it like an eerie and kind of dreadful atmosphere, and that's one thing that I really love about this genre. So essentially the plot of An Intrusion is followed around a family patriarch called Dustin Prince, who plays a character called Sam Hodges, and pretty much Sam Hodges is being stalked in his own home along with his family, Erika and Joyce. When they're being stalked by this malicious stalker, is Sam really kind of just keeping to himself some secrets that he doesn't want his family uncovering or being known about him. Let's go over some of the cast that are involved. It's directed by Nicholas Holland, who has done 2 features before, but I'm not very familiar with his work. But I also believe it is co-produced by someone who also stars in the movie, who plays a character called Chris, and that is Sam Logan Callaghan, if I pronounce that correctly. And Sam Logan Callaghan was actually in Batman v Superman, which is actually awesome because this cast actually does involve an array of a lot of talent. Scout Taylor Compton, who plays a detective called Savannah, but she's also known as Laurie Strode in Rob Zombie's Halloween movies. Keir Gilchrist, who is known as Lane in the movie, who stars in It Follows and the Netflix series Atypical. Billy Boyd in here, who plays Minister Fairfield, and of course you may know him as Pippin from Lord of the Rings. Michael Emery as Devon. Angelina, Danielle, Cama, if I pronounce that correctly, as Rebecca. Well, I've got to say, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. After I watched this movie, it made me really think and kind of seep in a little bit about what had happened throughout the entire movie, and if there was any kind of inkling as to what would have given away the ending of this. Now, it is going to be a non-spoiler, so I'm not going to ruin it for you guys. Our main 3 characters in this movie is Dustin Prince as Sam Hodges, Erika Hoveland as Joyce Hodges, who I forgot to mention in the cast before, and we've also got Angelina, Danielle, Cama, if I pronounce that correctly, as Rebecca Hodges. Now, this family is in kind of turmoil. There's things going on in the background that not everyone knows about. When it does get found out about, it kind of all kicks off. But I love the family dynamic in this. I love that they're not a perfect, happy, go-lucky family. There's trouble underlying with all of our characters, and it really does boil over as the runtime of the film progresses. Dustin Prince, who plays Sam Hodges, was fantastic in this movie because he plays a character you do not like at all. You can't root for this guy. You can't really be like, oh wow, I kind of feel sorry for him. Don't get me wrong, there might be 1 or 2 instances where you get maybe that emotion, but for the most part you think, wow, what an arse this guy really is. But he hones in on that character and makes it believable. He plays a guy that really sometimes can get under your skin, but that is certainly great acting because you want the audience to feel like they don't like you or you're doing despicable things where you're not going to be like this. He plays this family patriarch where this malicious stalker is stalking the entire family, but he is possibly keeping some secrets he doesn't want the family to know, and that dynamic was awesome. And his chemistry with Erika Hoveland is awesome because she plays Joyce, and she is equally great in the movie. She plays this wife, but while protecting her husband and daughter, of course, she's trying to protect the daughter more because Rebecca is the first one who gets kind of attacked by this malicious stalker. She really hones in on this really motherly figure, and you can really feel sorry for her character because she's just trying to do the best, and she's just trying to provide for her daughter and also just be there as a strong, loving mom, and she does a great role in that. And also Angelina Danielle Cama does a great job as Rebecca, because Rebecca as well, you just feel for her character and the emotions that she goes through in this movie. We've also got Scout Taylor Compton in this movie, who is known as Laurie Strode in the Halloween Rob Zombie movies, and she does a pretty good job as Detective Savannah, who is basically investigating this stalker case and who has kind of inklings and suspicions all along. And it was nice to see her do something kind of different in her acting abilities, because I've only ever seen her in Halloween, so it's kind of nice to be on the flip side of that, where she's playing a detective and not the victim. Well, basically all the performances in this are awesome. It's pretty cool seeing Keir Gilchrist in this movie, who I know as Sam from Atypical, the Netflix series. Now in that series he plays a kid with autism and he does it fantastically, so it's really cool to kind of see him in a different genre. I think he is going to go far because he is an awesome actor. And another standout I've got to give out is to a character I can't really talk about how he's involved in this, but a guy called Michael Emery who plays Devon. Performance was pretty cool, being honest with you. I really liked how that character really added in to this story, and I felt like the pace throughout the movie was really good. There was definitely parts where it was built up and then slowed down a little bit, but that slowed down part was good because it really added into the overall story arc of this stalker, you know, just tormenting our main character Sam and his family, really adding like a creepyish element, whether it's into the soundtrack. Now, if I've got to kind of pick any negatives with this movie, gonna be honest with you, I've got maybe one or two negatives. The first one is there's a certain scene in this movie and then all of a sudden the music choice for that scene didn't fit the movie whatsoever. I believe Andy Nelson mixes this movie, and I believe it might be the first time they've ever mixed a movie for a film. The music for the movie is pretty cool. It works well and it kind of adds the creepy and eeriness and vibe of what you're seeing on the screen. But there's definitely one scene, at the end of that scene, it doesn't even fit at all, but there's heavy metal music playing. I feel like this movie has got like an edgier tone, or it's going for an edgier tone, and for most part it can succeed in that regard. But in this one particular scene, that song did not fit it at all, and it kind of took me out of that scene. When you're kind of guessing about who this stalker is, it gives you a little bit of, it could be this person or it could be this person, but I didn't really feel like there was enough kind of suspects to be like, wow, it's this person. I appreciate what the end goal was and how they got to that, and I actually really enjoyed it. But a lot of people who do like a kind of good old like guess who it is kind of vibe, they may be disappointed because kind of can't guess who this is. That's all I'm gonna say. But overall, An Intrusion, is it worth a watch? Absolutely. And it was actually a nice surprise, and I felt at points this movie added something into the over trope genre that we're very well known of, and I like that it added something a little bit different. So my overall score for An Intrusion is... So if you've seen An Intrusion yourself, or you're going to check out the movie, leave your comments down below and let me know what your thoughts are. If you've enjoyed this review, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. And until the next time that I see you, I'll be seeing you later.